So you've talked about Mambu, and referenced it a few times, but I know from previous conversations that you're also very you believe very strongly in the power of strong partnerships, right? Um, and you've spoken about the types of partnerships you have and the importance of them, but what would you say has been the epitome of your desire to work in this way with your partners?
We work with a few larger fintechs and companies. Mambu is one. We look at Codat, which is an accounting data aggregator. Um, we work with Looker, which is a Google company now. So when I look at those guys and those companies, I like to say we're building on the shoulders of giants, right? They've already established themselves. Let's not try to beat what they're doing. They're doing it really well, and it would take us years to build something of a similar quality. So let's work together. Um, and also they're what's interesting is, and you see this, if you look at the history of fintech, right? 10 years or so roughly. The first the kind of new wave of fintechs, right? Because there were fintechs before that name was even invented, really. But the new fintechs were really B2Cs, typically, that came to steal the bank's lunch, right? That was that was essentially what we're disrupting or breaking up the banks or whatnot. Um, a few years down the line, those fintechs realized actually it's not that easy to acquire an audience, and the banks realized it's actually not that easy to innovate and be faster than those fintechs. So there was a lot of cooperation, so it went from fighting to cooperating. And I think these days, so a few years later, that cooperation, those partnerships, are ever more important. People work together. 1 + 1 equals 3, so to speak. Right? When you work together, you just reinforce each other. Um, and you manage to serve a different client base, which is accretive to both parties, rather than it's not a zero-sum game. It's not, if I do this and if I help you here, then it's detrimental to our business. It's usually the opposite, really. And so we do that with the large players. We also work together with some smaller companies where we see where we just see benefits in helping out each other. And ultimately there's a bit of good karma there, that if we help each other, some good things will come out of that.
So, not to make you choose your favorite child, but I
Oh
wonder
gosh.
if you could share with us your biggest success story or a big success story when it comes to connecting with your clients.
Most recently, I won't pick out one single name of a client, but what was really great is, you know, we talk about how do you build these startups, right? And you have to iterate fast and show something to a client and learn. Either they like it or they hate it, or any feedback is great, because you learn, you adapt, and then you iterate and become better. And I think one of the great successes recently, as we're doing a lot of demos with clients, is just the phenomenal feedback that we've been having from clients saying, well, number one, we don't see any system like this. Nobody's really offering that one-stop plug-and-play solution for lenders. So we've been trying to plug a number of solutions together, but you guys are doing it in a vertically integrated way, which is super useful. And by the way, the whole user experience is fantastic. I mean, that's music to our ears, right? Because when you think about B2B, typically, I was a user of Bloomberg terminals for 15, 20 years. I mean, 20 years ago, there was no UX on Bloomberg, right? It was just a very strange looking screen.